Hi, everyone. Can you hear me well? Okay, very good morning to each one of you. Thank you so very much for making out the time at 10 o'clock to hear me out. I hope I'm able to do justice for the reason why I have been invited today. Uh, Thanks for the great introduction. Little bit about myself, as you see on the screen. 15 years of experience in human resources, working with top tier global consulting firms in the world. Currently associated with Alvarez and Marsal Global Capability Center. I joined this firm roughly 3 years back. There's a story behind it, and probably while she was saying that how did we grow from 2 people to 1,000 people, let me take this opportunity to quickly tell you the story. I hope that it resonates with all of you, gives you more confidence to do well in your 2-year career journey, and always believe that life is not a bed of roses. Everybody has challenges. Everybody feels their journey is getting overwhelming, but at the end of the day, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So 2022, somewhere in September 2022, one of our managing partners of Bain was quitting A&M. Quitting Bain. He served Bain for a good 14 years. And his departure was a surprise to all of us, because we never thought that he is going to ever leave Bain, because people seldom leave good organizations. If you know what Bain is, so probably you would be able to echo what I'm saying, and I don't need that kind of introduction. But yes, I thought that he would never leave, right? And his departure news came to me as a surprise. Surprisingly, I was on extensive travel at that time. He was almost serving his full notice, and it was his second last week when I got to know that he is exiting the firm. And I told him, Manish, I never thought that you would leave Bain. The first thing that he said to me was, is this a compliment, or do you think that I'm not capable to take up a new job, or I'm not at the right age now anymore that I am employable outside? I said, no, it's definitely a compliment, because one compliment, and it's very sad also, because Bain will not be same without you. We have seen you so invested right from the day one. In fact, he was the one who recruited me also 4 years ago. And then we had our chat. We spoke about careers, what is happening in the world of consulting, what is happening at Bain. He also told me that I'm joining a startup. I said, why did you make that decision? He said, though it's an exciting opportunity, it's a founder-led organization, the path ahead is great, blah, 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 all of that. And then I left, right? After 2-3 days, he sends me a message, can we meet on breakfast? And he is somebody who is really early. He comes to office at 7:30 in the morning. So I really had to ensure that I also reach office by 8 just to catch him at breakfast. And then we spoke on the breakfast. He said that I was thinking, as I step out, would you be keen to join my hands? And it was a difficult decision. I did not know whether I should say yes, whether I should say no. If I say no on his face, he might not take it positively. If I say yes, am I even ready for it, right? Starting from zero, I don't know. And at the back of my mind, this startup thing did not really go well, because I really thought that if organizations are not cash rich, I might be in a situation where I'm out of job after few months, few years, I don't know, right? But he does not have to worry. He has built enough wealth for himself. I'm still at not that age of my career. There's still a lot of runway that I need. But then during that conversation, he ended up saying me, I met the founders, Brian Marsal and Tony Alvarez. They're very committed, blah, blah, blah. And I said, are you joining Alvarez and Marsal? And then he said, there you go, I am speaking to an HR person. And he said, yes, I'm joining Alvarez and Marsal. Then I said, that it's not a startup. Why do you call it startup? He said, no, Alvarez and Marsal is setting up their GCC in India. We will talk what GCCs are, and I would like to see if anybody knows what GCC is. And I have been hired as their CEO to lead that firm. Then I said that it's a very, very established organization, fully cash rich, $4 billion US based firm. But yeah, I mean, when you call it startup, I like it because it's an established startup within an ecosystem, right? Which ensures and which gives you belief that it will not go bankrupt. Your paychecks will come to you on time, and so on. But then the next problem statement was a little bit unclear to me, that how do I head HR? Because I have not done this, honestly speaking, before I moved to A&M. I have done it, but not all the functions. And he simplified the problem statement for me. He said, Kunal, you need to understand 50% of HR's job is talent acquisition, right? What is talent acquisition? Recruiting, right? Attracting talent from various places, either from campus, from the market, or through referrals, and so on. And 50% of the job is processes, governance, compliance, frameworks, and other stuff, right? 50% you have already done. In fact, more than 50 you have already done. Maybe if I have to put a number, 70% I have done, 30% I still don't know. That 30% is my learning curve, right? Which I need to build myself on the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And he said that you don't have to do everything by yourself. You will have a team of people under you who will report into you. So when you hire from the market, hire specialist people. What he meant was that if there is compensation and benefits, which I have not done as part of my role, I need to hire a compensation and benefits expert from outside, right? When that person will come in, that person will help set up the process. He will also learn, I will also learn in the journey. And that's how we build organization, right? That stayed with me. I went back, I discussed with my spouse, should I make this move? Bain is very great place, honestly speaking. They treat you like king, right? And your heart will probably sink in if you think of quitting such firms, right? But my spouse said, see, you are already getting saturated. You have been in this firm for 4 years. Such opportunities will not come to you every day. At 15th year of your career, it's rarely possible that you can head an HR function in any organization. People take 20 years, 25 years. There is an advocate for you who is willing to give you this opportunity. You should just grab it. I think he placed more confidence on me than I was believing on myself. And sometimes it happens, you will also feel that. And I said, okay, I'll take it up. I went through the interview, I got through the opportunity. And then here am I, 3 years, standing in front of you, proudly speaking about the firm. We are 1,000 teams strong. These 3 years has given me immense learning curve, probably that past 12 years did not, right? I have done everything, right? From being an executive assistant to Manish only, where people are reaching out to me for calendars, to being the admin of the firm, where I'm discussing logistics like laptops, what is the stock, what is the inventory, how many people are expected to be on board, to negotiating with different vendors and different stuff, to setting up the HR function from the scratch, building up policies, processes. When I was calling up people for jobs, people were asking me, what is the career path that you'll offer? And I said that I don't know what is the career path that I'll offer. Probably that is something which is still under discussion, right? We are building this function. So everything is happening parallelly, right? So that's the story. I feel very proud that I made this decision to what we have built. Always remember these opportunities will not come to you always. You really need to be at the right place at the right time to gain maximum benefit out of it, right? Today he proudly tells me that Kunal is a co-founder, right? I myself feel very embarrassed to introduce myself as co-founder because I still feel that I still have a learning curve, but he is not. he introduces me in front of people as a co-founder who has seen this from day zero to, I don't know, 365 into 3 years, maybe 1,000 days. So that's how I landed up at A&M. As part of my introduction, it was told that I like to travel. Yes, I like to travel. Every year, I make sure that I take out time for my family to take them out. These are some of the pictures from Turkey before it was announced that before India decided that they would not advocate Turkey. So this was just right before that. There's one more picture from New York City Times Square. This was one of the training programs from Bain that I attended in New York City. Moving on, this was largely spoken. I'll just fast forward quickly. I'll not go into detail. 15 years, currently in my fourth stint at A&M. Moving on, I think it's important for each one of you to know a little bit about the firm that I represent. As you are just starting your career, I want that this name should stay in your head for long. No matter you work with us, do not work with us, or work with us maybe after a couple of years after you have moved across the industry. First and foremost, people often pronounce the name incorrectly, right? And as part of my introduction, I also saw that the name was incorrect. It's not Marshall, it's Marsal, right? Alvarez and Marsal, and then whatever you call it, India Private Limited, Global Capability Center Private Limited, right? The two gentlemen that you see on the screen are co-founders. One of them is Tony Alvarez, and one of them is Brian Marsal. One of them is an Asian, and one of them is an American. Now, both of them decided to start the firm almost 40 years back. What was the story behind it? The story was, in the industry, everybody is talking about strategy, strategy, strategy. People are talking about powerful slides, powerful presentations, fancy presentations, deep research, but nobody is talking about how do I execute it on the ground. If a client is coming to you, right, saying that I need to know how do I maximize my profitability for X product, right? I can't present 50-page slide to the client, right? I need to tell them how that will happen on the ground. But most of the firms were just selling 50-page PowerPoint presentations instead of telling them how do you execute it on the ground. Tony and Brian felt that gap, right? And then they decided that they want to set up a firm which is operator-led, which will focus on both strategy as well as execution on the ground. Only strategy in consulting does not work. It has to go hand in hand, right? And that's how this company was born, right? Now, 42 years, people know us well, but the biggest breakthrough happened in 2008, 2009. What happened? Were you guys born at that time? What happened in 2008, 2009? Sorry? Financial crisis. What financial crisis? There was an investment bank which went through bankruptcy, right? What was the name of the firm? I heard somebody saying it correctly. Say. Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers was declared bankrupt, right? And that was the biggest game changer for us to earn our reputation in the history, right? Our CEO, Brian Marsal, was appointed as the interim CEO for Lehman Brothers to lead this engagement, right? So essentially what I'm trying to say is that the ask was to turn around Lehman Brothers, right? But unfortunately, we could not turn Lehman Brothers because a lot of their key businesses were sold to another investment banking firm called Nomura, right? And hence we could, and plus there were a lot of losses, debts, which we could not uh, turn around, right? But the good thing was that we were able to pay back to the creditors, and that reputation has really helped us reach where we are today, right? Originally, even today, I think this is the perception in the market. When you say people that you work for A&M, they say, oh, Lehman Brothers, right? That's the perception people have created for us, but we are just not restructuring or insolvency firm. We also do many other things, which I would talk to you in next couple of minutes. Secondly, we are a founder-led firm, right? What is founder-led firm? Any guess? Founder-led. Just apply your common sense. MBA will need you applying common sense. Not everything will be available on books, textbooks. Founder-led. Yes. Founder. What is founder? Owner. What is led? What is led? LED. Who leads the firm? Now can you tell me what is founder-led? Does it match with what you said? No, right? Now can you? No, it does not match with what you said, right? Expand what you said just now. Founder is founder who has founded the firm, and led is somebody who is leading the firm. Now what does it mean? Just owner leads the firm. What is CEO led? Now you understand the difference? Yeah. We are a founder-led firm. Founders are still invested in the business. CEO is founder does not exist. Either founder has taken an exit or founder has passed away, right? And the board of director has appointed somebody. So there is a difference between founder-led firm and CEO-led firm. Founder-led firms are very, very frugal. They're very cautious about how do they want to run the business, right? I'll come to you 1 second. So that's the difference. So we are a founder-led firm. Bain was CEO-led firm. Bain was not founder-led. And typically, if you work for such organization, you will understand the mindset. The mindset is CEO-led firms are just usually thinking about himself or C-1, which is your CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, CHRO, CIO, CSO, all C-suite basically, right? Basically people who are reporting into him, right? But founder-led firm is not like that. Have a seat. Yes, you wanted to say something? Yeah.
Jain sir, my name is Arya Srivastav. As you are asked the question, what is founder-led firm? So I want to answer that, sir. That founder-led firm, I think it is that firm which is led and created and led by the founder only, not the CEO. As if CEO will think of its own and give the advice to their subordinates, but the founder is the one who manage himself to all the subordinates and workers.
Correct. That's what we spoke.
He will think of its own, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much. So I hope I was able to tell you two things. One, about what is A&M, who are we, what do we do, what is our reputation in the industry, and secondly, what is the difference between founder-led firm and CEO-led firm. Just in terms of our scope and outreach, right? How big are we? We are a $4.3 billion firm, right? Now, do you know some of the names of strategy consulting firms? Which are the strategy consulting firms? Which are the top tier strategy consulting firms in the world? I have worked in one before coming to A&M. Bain. What else? McKinsey, okay. BCG and Bain. Okay, there is an acronym which is very popularly used in the industry. What is that? Acronym? MBB. So McKinsey, BCG, Bain, right? So this forms one cohort, and they are called strategy consulting firms. Now, what are Big Fours? Deloitte, EY, PwC, KPMG, four, right? Now, where is A&M? It did not come in either. Neither Big Four, neither MBB. Where do we sit? BCC? Sorry, I did not get. GCC is different concept. We will talk about it. These MBBs also have their GCCs. Big Four also have their GCCs. So everybody has their own GCC, and we will talk why GCCs are important. But where do we sit? No, we align more ourselves with MBB. Now, what is India Private Limited? What is India Private Limited? Don't speak to yourselves. If you know, yeah. India-centric, they support Indian clients, right? That's what India centers are for, right? India entities are for. Of course, Indian entities and global entities are different. India focuses on Indian clients, global focus on global clients. The talent landscape is also very different. India will hire a very different set of talent. Global Capability Center will hire a different set of talent. All the firms that I spoke, MBB, Big Four, they have their GCCs almost very, very established, 20, 25 years back, right? We are pretty late in this journey, right? We just started 3 years ago. But the good thing about starting late also has its some advantages. We are able to accelerate it much more faster because we have already learned it from our competition, what is working well, what is not working well. Secondly, the talent is available. You just have to throw money and get people on board, right? And as a result of which, nobody has done 1,000 in 3 years. You pick up EY, McKinsey, nobody has done. Bain, 2019 when I joined, they started in 2004. 2019 when I joined, they were 300. So look how much time it took them to get up to the speed. Now, coming back to the main question, why do we need to set up GCC? What is the benefit of having GCC? There are so many GCCs which are setting up in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Every day, yes. Jai Hind. Which is fine, that's your benefit. But what is company's benefit? Okay. Everybody talks about it. We know it. Cost arbitrage, right? Sit down. Cost arbitrage, he said, he called us cheap, right? We are not cheap. So of course the cost arbitrage is one factor, but things have moved beyond cost arbitrage now. It is no more cost arbitrage game any longer. It is 24/7 delivery engine. Your engine is not stopping. When you are sleeping, your global colleagues are working. When you are vice versa, right? So the speed and the scale at which you can deliver to your end clients is much more faster, right? Secondly, India is a great hub of innovation. We need to agree that we have the best of technocrats and best of engineering schools in the world, right? We are losing them to US and whatnot, but we really have a lot of focus on technology. And as a result of which, as our industry is navigating through this disruption on technology, where AI is disrupting, every industry is getting impacted. GCCs are able to productize a lot of offerings, client offerings in India. And that is why it is important to have. Thirdly, he said, it's a cost arbitrage game. We cannot take that away. If I have to hire an AI engineer in US vis-a-vis in India, there will be a significant delta in terms of cost savings, right? Now, that being said, can you tell me which was the first consulting firm to set up their GCC in India? Now you know all the name of the consulting firms. Which was the first consulting firm to set up there? Take a guess. There is no judgment in the room. Sorry? No? McKinsey. McKinsey was the first firm to set up their GCC in India. But which was the non-consulting firm to set up their GCC in India? Which was the first non-consulting firm to set up their GCC in India? Texas Instrument. Texas Instrument. Have you heard about this firm? Go and study today. So they were the first one to set up their GCC in India. All these firms that you see, tech firms, Microsoft, and Atlassian and whatnot, all top tier firms. These are all GCCs only, right? So it's not that this is something which has come now. This is just picking up the momentum very rapidly and quickly because clients are realizing that they will not be able to sustain their business because there is no margin. Margin can only be done if they set up GCC in India, right? So that's the reason. Now, moving on to talk a little bit about capabilities. See, if you want, the topic is careers in consulting, right? You need to know what kind of different career opportunities are available in consulting, right? This is largely available everywhere, except for McKinsey, BCG, Bain, because McKinsey, BCG, Bain classify themselves as strategy consulting firm. But if you look at Big Four and pick up their website, pretty much, very much, they do all this stuff. What is M&A? I know it's mergers and acquisitions, my dear friends, but what is mergers and acquisitions? What is mergers and acquisitions? Take a guess. Yes.
Jain sir, my name is Tanjit Mondal. Sir, I think mergers and acquisitions are two different things. Mergers are when two companies decide to merge together and form a bigger entity. And acquisition is one bigger company acquiring the smaller one. Like there are multiple examples of mergers like, I would say, Vodafone Idea is one example, and acquisition I would say is Tata as it acquires Range Rover. That is one acquisition I would say.
Awesome. You already are on the path to becoming a great consultant. Do you want to add something or you want to?
That's all, sir.
That's all. Great.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think he has explained it well. These are two different things. And whenever such, specifically whenever a merger is happening, there are two parties involved. There is one party which is buy side, somebody who is buying, and the other one is selling, right? Sell side. I'll not take any jazzy example, else it will just go over the head. Let's take luxury car, right? BMW. I own a BMW, and I'm selling it to him. Right now, and you need to contextualize this in a business scenario. Okay, I'm just simplifying this so that everybody in the room understands. So he is a buyer, I'm the seller. Now, when a company decides to sell or when a company decides to buy, they go through a round of due diligence process. Do I know what is the balance sheet? What is it speaking? Is it stable? Is it unstable? Do I know what kind of businesses do they own? Do I know what is the current size, strength of the employees? Do I know their overall place? Do I know what is blue collar versus white collar? Many things, right? Now, if you have to contextualize this in a BMW scenario, I need to understand, are the tires functioning well? How old is the tire? What is the condition of the music system? What is the condition of the engine? What is the condition of the car? Has it met through accident? How many insurance claim has it gone through? Blah, 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 right? From a buyer standpoint, it is very important for me to know. From a seller standpoint also it is important, because a seller will not get the valuation of the car that he or she is expecting out of it, right? So when such things happen, we appoint, in a business scenario, we appoint A&M, right? A&M will represent one side. Maybe A&M will represent seller side. and he will do all the checks. Similarly, there will be somebody who will represent buyer side, let's say KPMG, right? They will do all the checks from the buyer side, and at the end of the day, both the buyer and the seller will get a report card of their business, right? That report card prima facie serves as a proof for both the parties or any clients, right? And then how tomorrow if I come, I know that this has been stamped by A&M and I will get the right valuation for that business. Do you understand? Right? And that's what our role comes in between, to navigate between buyer and seller. Right? I have made it very simple for you. It is not as simple on the ground. There will be a lot of complexities, compliances, governances, which will make your life difficult. And that's what consulting is all about, right? You solve complex business problem for your end client. Corporate performance improvement. What is performance improvement? Whose performance are we improving? Sorry? Kiska performance? Just stand up and speak.
I think the companies who are suffering from loss or after taking certain time, like growth after having stability, and the company starting to decline, they appoint companies to analyze themselves, their situation, and make themselves profitable.
Yes, you're right. So essentially, it is improving the business performance, right? And it can be many things, right? As part of your MBA course, you will study something called EBITDA, right? Does anybody know what is EBITDA? Yes.
It's earning before interest and tax.
Are you a commerce graduate?
Yes, sir. BBA graduate.
Can you tell the class what does it mean? Earning before?
Earning before interest and taxes. It's the
And there's D also.
depreciation is also
And
there.
amortization. Right? Now,
Yes.
what does it mean?
It's our profit before the taxes and the interest has been cut, or the sales we are doing.
Is it correct? Okay. Anybody else? Yes. Only if you know the correct answer.
Jai Hind, sir. My name is Geet Saraf. So after sales, when we cut down the COGS, we get a gross profit, and then we cut salary and SG&A.
किसी को समझ आएगा ये सब?
We get EBITDA. SG&A is basically salary and general expenditure.
See, when you explain everyone, you need to think that you have gone through that journey, so you know it, but not everybody is a accounting
Sorry, sir.
graduate. Anyway, I'm not here to teach EBITDA. You will learn it as part of your course. But cost savings potential,
Thanks.
EBITDA improvement is what we do on the performance improvement. Supply chain optimization, right? A lot of firms have supply chain issues. Where do they store goods? How do they move out goods? How do they manage their excess inventory of goods, right? So those are all performance improvement. Now again, to illustrate this little bit and make it relatable for you, let's say, what do I take? Let's take perfume, like luxury perfume. Now, luxury perfume is what? Chanel, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, etc., right? So, Chanel is on continuous decline, or maybe let's say saturated in terms of their sales, right? They're not doing well. They have reached out to A&M. They wanted to root cause what is the potential issue behind this, and what is the competition doing, right? So as an A&M consultant, you are staffed on that project. Now you need to root cause. Why is it happening? How can you ensure they revive their sales? How do you ensure that in next 6 months they are able to meet their at least break even, right? or or how they can probably diversify their SKUs, or how can they probably maximize in a market which they have not penetrated yet, stuff like that, right? So uh, you will have to go deep and understand, right? In such situations, we have to study the full segment of perfume, right? Right from what is the manufacturing cost to what is the pricing strategy to let's say what is the cost of inventory to advertisement, promotion, multiple stuff, right? You just can't base your assumption on one thing and say to that extent that what is the shape of the bottle, right? Because it is also a cost, right? You are doing a cost optimization project. It is not a straight bottle, it is a curvy shaped bottle. What is the thickness of the glass? What is the thickness of the packaging, right? What is the cost of what is the size of the hardboard which you use for wrapping it? What is the bubble wrap size? You have to go so much deep to ascertain what could be the cost savings potential so that they can maximize their revenue. Does it resonate with you? Okay. Private equity. What is private equity? Yes. Only one person
Giant, sir.
answering everything.
As far as I know, private equity are basically institutions who acquire companies and improve and work on them, and they sell it on a better price or like gaining something
Not
out
acquire, they invest.
of it. Yeah.
They're investors. They put money, pump money into the business, and then they take the exit, right? Once the valuation, they will exit only when the valuation of the company goes up, else there is no benefit, right? If I am a private equity firm and I'm investing in your company, I need to get maximum out of it, right? If I have given X, I would ensure that my business valuation goes up to 5x, 6x, and once it goes up to 6x, I'll pull out the money and make the business self-sustainable, right? I invest in pockets, right? What happens in Shark Tank? This is what exactly, right? These sharks, what do? While they are not private equity, but that's the whole purpose. They fund small business, gain maximum, and then they take the exit. Moving on, what's next? Restructuring and turnaround. We spoke about restructuring and turnaround with the Lehman Brothers crisis. This is our heritage, this is our legacy, this is what A&M is known for. We have built so many years of record in the restructuring and turnaround space. Essentially doing what? Doing cash flow management. Tomorrow I wake up and say, मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है धंधा चलाने के लिए. How do I run my business? That's restructuring, cash flow management, right? Interim management. This is what restructuring and turnaround is. Can you talk to me about some of the biggest bankruptcy or insolvency that you have heard in Indian markets? Sorry, Yes Bank or Sahara. Okay, you guys are from Sahara generation. What else? Kingfisher also, okay. What else? Interesting. Baiju, sorry, what? Punjab National Bank. Jet Airways. Big Bazaar. Jet Airways. Smart Bazaar ho gaya na wo. Air Asia. Taken, and now it has been rebranded to what? Air India Express. Jet Airways. You guys don't come from Jet Airways generation? It was such a good flight. Airlines. What else? Really? I don't think so. It was a strategic decision. I'm not able to understand. Grofers, he said. That's what I said. I don't think so. It was bankruptcy per se. Are you not about something which is very recent? बायजूस की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. In co-working space, International, yes. Their US business is bankrupted, and they have engaged, in fact, A&M to manage that crisis. Anyway, we'll move to next, tax. Tax advisory is also getting very, very critical. A lot of firms are doing tax advisory roles in India. The Indian tax system is fairly easy if you look at global tax structures. If I pick up US, do you know how many states are there in US? Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it is between 50 to 52, right? 52 states have different tax regulations. So imagine the kind of complexity that it would create, right? For instance, if I'm in Pune today, let's assume US, I have to pay different tax for Pune. If I'm in Gurgaon, I have to pay different tax in Gurgaon. Next week, if I'm in Bangalore, I have to pay a different tax, right? So that's how they are, which puts a lot of complexity in their business also, as well as for individuals also, and high net worth individuals also. And that is why tax is picking. Plus, a lot of these global organizations are setting up their GCCs in India, right? Which also adds a lot of tax regulations, transfer pricing, right? You are in foreign entities sitting in India, earning in USD. You have a lot of taxes to it also. So that's another career path which consulting offers, and very good for people who are pursuing finance as specialization. Disputes and investigations is also, this is corporate disputes and investigations, right? So essentially, whenever there is any sort of mismanagement of funds, fraudulent activities in corporates, you investigate. So maybe just to give you some perspective to it, few years back, there was something which happened at BharatPe. What happened? What happened? The celebrity now, founder, yes. Ashni Grover did what? Ashamed of telling it, or? Okay, I did not hear it.
Jai Hind sir, my name is Akansha. So the co-founder, Mr. Grover, had made a very flashy exit that had tanked its shares.
He used the funds of the company for his own personal needs, right? Essentially, his spouse created a recruiting agency on her name, saying that she is supplying manpower to BharatPe, which did not happen. But in lieu of that, they took all the company's funds. Like whenever you engage any external, like we also work with external headhunters, right? Firms like Korn Ferry, Michael Page, these are all external agencies which staff people at A&M, and in return of that, they take some share, right? So that share could be like whatever is agreed on the contract, 20% of fixed CTC, 25% of the fixed CTC, so on and so forth. So similarly, they did that, and they transferred all the funds in wife's account, right? Without even putting people. So A&M was again appointed to investigate this whole fiasco for BharatPe. And we were able to make BharatPe profitable within few months, despite all this. And no wonder he does not like us. He in his book, he has really bashed consultants and why he does not like it. Anyway, moving on to the next one, valuations. Valuations, as the name indicates, is very straightforward and simple. There are different ways through which you evaluate companies, whether they're undervalued, whether they're overvalued, or whether they're fairly valued, right? So, especially used in the purposes and scenarios of M&A, this is what is called as valuations. And valuations can happen in multiple ways, not just in business scenarios. It can happen for assets, It can happen for your regulatory purposes and so on. Risk and regulatory. So every business will have a risk team, which essentially ensures that everything is compliant, you're not defaulting there, your business is safe and secure, right? There are no threats, external threats coming in, so on and so forth. So this is regulatory and risk. It could be related to your cyber, insurance, multiple other facets. Digital. Now, the world is going through a lot of disruptions, right? Because of multiple things, right? OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude, and whatnot, right? Now, the entire industry is disrupted, but if I specifically talk about consulting in general, it is also disrupted. Why? Because earlier we were charging very high premium fees from the client for doing some fancy PowerPoint presentations, for doing great research work. Now everything ChatGPT can do in 30 minutes. Then what is the value that we are adding to the client, right? Does it mean all the roles will be redundant? No, it is not, right? The roles will still remain, but human judgment is also something which is critical, right? A robot cannot tell you in X situation will this solution work, in Y situation what will work, what not. But yes, those work has gotten automated. So essentially a lot of undergrad roles are getting redundant now. Now either they are so great that we can make them do other stuff, or either we have to see how do we manage our entry level, analyst level hiring, right? Because they were the ones who were doing all those work. Now, what is digital? So digital, of course, is impacting in all the areas. It is earlier also there were situations where digital was embedded as part of your M&A integration, right? So whenever two firms are again merging or carving out also, I mean you're demerging them, and if their technologies are different, you'll have to integrate them, right? Where do I store my data? If today I'm using it, one is using something else, other is using something else, how do I integrate that, right? If there are HRMS system, one is using Workday, one is using SuccessFactors, how do I integrate all those together? So it was happening in bits and pockets, but today it is now bread and butter. For consulting organizations, people who are extremely strategy oriented, like MBBs and all, the demand for technology roles have suddenly increased because they did not have technology people. Now, when clients are asking that you need to productize your offerings, I can't pay you on an ongoing basis for a 10-year multi-million-dollar contract. Rather, I would want this contract to be 3 years, and I want you to automate everything within 3 years so that my people can take over after 3 years. Right? To do this kind of work, you will have to engage tech people. And then there were people who were extremely, extremely tech-oriented, like Accentures, IBMs of the world. So everybody is kind of fine-tuning it and aligning their strategy. So they also have to get a little bit, if they need to be operate in the space of consulting, they also need to hire good strategy people. So that's the end of it. So careers in consulting is very diverse, very varied. And the good thing is that there's space for everyone. There is a space for every specialization, whether you're marketing, whether you're finance, whether you're in HR, whether you're in IT. HR is not reflecting here, but there is an HR consulting also, right? A lot of Big Four does HR consulting. And what HR consulting essentially is, everything which you do as an internal HR, you do it for your external clients. That's the underlying difference. You work on talent strategy, you work on a learning and development plan, 20, 30, 5-year roadmap. You work on, again, integration. If there is an M&A which is happening, right, from an HR standpoint, how do we manage that integration process, right? But interestingly, the landscape of consulting is evolving after 2020. Earlier, you would see pre-2020, which is pre-COVID era, careers in consulting only focused on, market entry strategy, growth strategy, supply chain optimization, inventory optimization, procurement optimization, cost savings potential, EBITDA improvement, and so on. But now it is getting more specialized, right? Now, if you see, there is a financial consulting, which is transaction and deal advisory. There is a tax advisory, which we spoke in the previous slide. We also spoke about technology and digital consulting when two companies are integrating. How do I integrate their tech processes? There is data and analytics consulting also, which is also highly, highly specialized vertical, right? You just work on millions and millions of data sets. How do you crunch it? How do you ensure that you are able to bring insights out of it? And so on. And last, anything which does not come in anything is other consulting, which when I spoke about your human capital consulting, which is HR consulting. But then other than that, there is ESG also, which is picking up, decarbonization, net zero, all those stuff, right? Then legal, what is the risk, what is the litigation. So there are varied facets within consulting also. But I think if you see at the top, the bottom line still remains the same. It is not changing. If you come in consulting environment, you are essentially trying to solve complex problem for clients in a very, very fast-paced environment. You cannot operate on your own timelines. Client has paid 1 billion and he wants the output, let's say, if he wants the output in 3 months, you have to give the output in 3 months. उसके लिए अपनी लाइफ की ऐसी की तैसी करनी पड़ेगी, right? So there is no way. Secondly, cross industry exposure. Today you are working on financial services, tomorrow you may be working on insurance, third day you are working on consumer product and retail. Varied industry exposure, healthcare and life sciences, energy and natural resources, and so on. So that's the beauty of the consulting, right? You do not have to stay fixated on one project because the both length and breadth is very, very diverse. Now comes the real challenge, right? How do you settle into this environment? And with this comes a lot of skills which you need to develop as part of your 2-year program, right? Some this you will develop as part of your subjects. Some is just seeing how people operate. And some you will learn once you come into the firm. So nobody learns everything from the time of birth. We all evolve with time. So there are two sides to it. I will start first with the right side, which is fixed mindset and growth mindset. Right? In this landscape, having a fixed mindset will just be a hindrance to yourself. You really need to be agile. You really need to continuously somebody who can change gears. गाड़ी का gear change करते हैं ना हम लोग. You need to keep changing your gears. Sometimes you have to go really fast at 120 kilometer per hour, and sometimes you have to come back to 60 kilometer per hour. You need to decide that for yourself, right? But that decision will also come with judgment, right judgment and experience. Sometimes you may make mistakes, but just be open to feedback and change. If you're very, very fixated, नहीं मैंने ऐसा बोला है, ऐसा ही होगा, it will not work. You need to understand that you would work with multi-generational workforce, right? And multi-generational, I know what you all understand, right? There will be people at 60s also, and there will be people who are as fresh as you. And there are people like us who are getting sandwiched in between, right? Because there are two perspectives. It is very hard to change perspective of somebody who is a 60-year-old. There is very it is very hard to adapt everything what somebody who is just starting their career. And then we have our own inhibitions, beliefs, which we have lived with time, some we have learned from our seniors and some we are learning from you, right? So it is all about adapting, right? It is not my way or highway. It is what is the need of the hour? How will clients benefit from it? It's not an ego battle between Kunal versus this. So now, if you see that, firstly, you will work with extremely opinionated people who will have opinions on everything, right? They will really push you so hard to think quicker, faster, challenge the status quo. We always, our sick people who are at 55, 60s have very set pattern of doing things. And we all adapt to it, right? But can we challenge them and stand up and tell them with 5 good reasons that this is why you should change this, this will not work? Because client scenario has changed, right? So don't fear speaking up if you have logics in place. If you do not have logics in place, if you do not have facts, data to prove it, please don't open your mouth. Nothing is gut-based, feeling-based. I feel like this, that is why it should happen. Consulting does not work with feelings. It is always fact and data. Where there is no data, of course, there is experience. 15 years of experience, 20 years of experience, which will add as a subject matter expert in that project. But most of it has to be backed by data, else people will not buy your opinion. Secondly, building a powerful network. See, again, like I said, very opinionated people. Second thing is very perception-driven people also. You make your perception from the day one, right? If you are strong in projects, in your delivery, you have ensured that your career is taken care, which means you don't have to worry about your increments and bonus at the end of the year. You do not have to worry about your projects also कि ये खत्म हो जाएगा तो कल मैं कहाँ जाऊँगा. People will just book you even before your previous project is completed. So that's what the world is. We live in a very, very perception-driven world. Hence, relationships really matter a lot. If you think by just doing great work, your life is secure, no. You should have the ability to go beyond your work also. If I have to talk about a cricket match, if I have to talk about an IPL, if I have to talk about a movie which has been recently launched, you should be able to talk in almost all the topics, which means that you have to be very, very well read. Right? It's because it's diverse. You don't know what will come up next. At least to hold that conversation for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it is critical. Next is big picture thinking. We often tell people that don't get very siloed with what will happen today. You have to think from 5-year, 10-year journey. It will not come now, but it has to develop over the time. Because industry is changing, landscape is changing, right? Tomorrow, if any other technology comes, will my strategy remain relevant? Or again, I have to scrap it and again I have to change it. In a business scenario, मैं business को बार-बार scrap और वो नहीं कर सकता ना. I have to start thinking from long term. So don't only get fixated with short term कि आज ये फायदा हो रहा है चलो ये कर लेते हैं कल का कल देखा जाएगा. It does not work like this. And by the way, this is just not consulting. This is the mindset which you need to cultivate across whichever careers you go. This cultivation is very, very critical as you start your foundation. Next is there will be a lot of ambiguity and chaos, and I often tell people when I address them like this, I wish Delhi School of Economics have given me ability to deal with ambiguity and chaos. Honestly, it did not. While it is a very good brand, but you know how universities are, right? IIMs does. ISBs does. Right? There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of ambiguity. 11:59 PM का deadline है. अभी आप क्लास से आए हो, 2 घंटे में आपका assignment खत्म करके देना है. I wish a lot of B schools starts integrating this into the program. Given this is, and a lot of this is. I was told that this institution has a lot of people from armed forces. I know that will bring a lot of discipline and rigor into your curriculum also. But start pushing yourself, because what today looks like may not remain the same after 2 hours. Right? Whatever you get, just try and wipe it off. Apna laundry list chota karo. If you have 10 things to do, just see how can I clear. Because you don't know second half 10 cheezein aur sir pe aa jayegi. And what will happen? We will start panting, right? Oh my God, this is so much, I don't know. And then every day, as an HR professional, I think everybody mental health is gone for a toss. It's such a loosely used term. We don't even know what is mental health, and we are talking about mental health. Right? एक बार mental health issue होगा, then you will not be able to handle yourself. Right? Stress is everywhere. Your professors have stress, I have stress, your director has stress, everybody has stress. Don't think every life is hunky-dory for anyone. Right? So, but in the midst of it, we'll have to navigate. And it's nothing. It's just wiring your mind, conditioning your mind. You have to start wiring, rewiring, because change is inevitable. Next, wearing multiple hats at the same time. Like I said, it is very varied. Today you may be working on consumer product, tomorrow you may be working on healthcare and life sciences. How do I adapt? Adapting is the way forward. If you do not adapt, you will be kicked out. And not just this, टैक्स में इतने रेगुलेशंस चेंज हो रहे हैं रोज. आज मैंने जो सीखा है कल शायद वो रेलेवेंट नहीं है. HR में, have you seen what is happening in HR now? Government is saying that you have to do FNF in 2 days. Government is saying that you have to give gratuity every year. Now if I don't adapt to all these circumstances, will I be able to manage 1000 scale? Forget, my scale is still limited. Think about organizations which are 25,000, 30,000. For them it's a mammoth task with no automation. Adapting, right? Else people will, it is as simple as that. We cannot babysit people. Babysitting is not allowed. Either you are up or either you are out. 2 years mein, if you're not moving to next level, get out. It's a cost model, right? Everybody has to earn for the company. Lastly, high speed, high stakes. Again, like I said, if you do not finish your laundry list, there will be things which will keep piling on your head every day. And high stakes, because these are Fortune 500 companies which are reaching out to you for different ask. You do not have the luxury of time. चल ना कल कर लेंगे. Doesn't work. आप सोच रहे हो कल करोगे, वो सडनली 4 बजे रिव्यू लगा के बैठ जाएगा बिना बताए आपको. What will you do? Even if you have done, maybe he will scrap full hypothesis and challenge your hypothesis, which means you're back to square one. Have you budgeted that time for yourself? If I have 7 days for a project delivery, I'll ensure that most of my work is at least finished by 2.5 days. Third day pe I get review and inputs so that I have some buffer time. If I have to make adjustments, I have that time. But often what we do is that we will start doing, अगर कल deadline है, आज शाम को बैठेंगे हम उसको solve करने के लिए. And this is in studies also. We as Indians, we have developed this habit of last minute. True or not? It gives us kick, right? And we think that, अरे last minute पे पढ़ के 80% आ गया है, so maybe if I would have studied full year, I would have gotten 100. But this will not work, I'm telling you. This will not work in client scenarios. Because there, I am not deciding the timeline, somebody else is deciding the timeline for me. Hence, it is critical to act fast. Moving on to my last slide, and then we will open up for questions. I think this is just a summary. I think we have spoken all of it. I'll not reiterate. But what I wanted to tell each one of you is that whatever you do as part of your curriculum, start going above and beyond. Right? Take initiative. Same goes once you step into the corporate. Go beyond your job descriptions. Don't limit if you really want to accelerate your career, you really need to move fast. Right? The other thing which also I wanted to tell, and this is something which one of my mentors gave me one piece of advice, it is not reflecting in this slide, is career paths are never linear. Do you understand what does it mean? What does it mean? It's never a straight line. It will go through zigzag, right? Some days you will be swinging very high, some days you will fall flat, sometimes you will plateau, right? It will go through because it is not under our control. There are economic scenarios and circumstances which will govern this. Don't always have peer pressure on your head. अरे मेरे दोस्त को तो 25 लाख मिल गया है इतने साल में, I'm still doing 15 lakhs. You will have your own, everybody has their own path. I will always have people, my batchmates, who are earning more than me. But then I will also have people from my batchmates who are below me. Whom should I look at? Both. Aspiration होना चाहिए, but नीचे भी तो देखो. So, it will go through oscillations, have patience, eventually everybody will catch up. Right? Agar everybody will move at the same time, same trajectory, तो फिर तो पूरी क्लास को एक दिन CEO होनी चाहिए ना किसी कंपनी में. Will that happen ever? No. So always remember it will go through oscillations. Keep doing your best. Take initiatives, push yourself, step yourself into discomfort. It is very important. Don't always operate in safe space. Safe space does not give you learning. After a point of time, you will plateau. If you do not step into discomfort, take up new things, you will not grow. And if you want your salaries also to multiply, you will have to step into discomfort. Real learning comes only when you are, this was also something which one of my boss told me once. Real learning comes only when you step into discomfort. Real learning also comes with the most difficult bosses. If you work with bosses who just says yes to everything that you do, they are not really invested on your career. Real learning will only come through bosses who makes your life hell. Not, of course, by abusing you or, demeaning you, but really somebody who really pushes you to think hard, who will make you do the maybe same work thrice, because he or she is also constantly thinking, right? Because they are intelligent people. Too much of Gyan for today. Thank you so very much for patiently listening to me. I hope I was able to add some value to each one of you. These are life lessons. I wish 15 years ago we had this opportunity of induction where somebody from Bangalore or Gurgaon would have come and addressed us for 90 minutes so that we could have taken some value. But whatever we have learned through whatever way, either through accident or either through by just seeing people, how do they role model themselves, is a real asset, right? With these words, the room is open for questions. I don't know how are we doing in terms of time. We are already. I did well, but no time for questions. But let's do 10 minutes maybe if time allows. Let's have very focused questions. Yeah, and don't ask me again, Gyan, right? What do you feel and how do you think?
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai.
My name is Mahir Ahmed. Sir, my question to you is when you were given the choice over a breakfast meeting whether to join Alvarez and Marsal, so actually that was a risk for you to join, to leave Bain and join that. So, sir, how did you adapt to that change? Like, how did you manage the initial dilemma of like moving into a different organization? This is.
Yeah, good question. Please sit. So, for me, I have always fundamentally believed is that I can control the controllables. I cannot control the uncontrollables, right? I had 12, 13 years of experience in varied HR functions, which are very, very rich and would have been fully relevant to A&M for me to go implement, set up, etc. Right, which is 70% of my role. 30% of the role is I did not know what will happen, but I know that I had army of people or a village of people who would support and work with me in that journey. Right. In corporates, one thing you should always remember: people choose people. Right? If you're good, people will follow you. Right? I don't know if you have heard this somewhere. People don't leave organizations; they leave bad bosses behind. Right? So when I knew somebody like Manish, who is a role model to me, I knew I'm already supported and backed by him. Right? So, and he will support with me in the journey. So 70% of my this thing was controllable, so I was sorted. 30% ambiguity, which I did not know. He was placing the trust on me more than I did on myself. And secondly, my spouse, she said that you are an idiot. If somebody is trusting you more than anybody else, what else do you need? I wish I had somebody who would have backed me up. And I think that those two, I think this was more gut than anything else. And then other Reiki I have done, right? Like startup versus non-startup, right? It was an established startup within the... So from a money standpoint, there was no issue that I can go wrong. The only thing, and that this was what I asked my interviewer also at the time, if this does not work out, if GCC for A&M does not work out, will you kick me out? Or they said, we have enough opportunities. We can repurpose you to the India Consulting HR team. Right? So that was my safety net. Anything else? Yes. You can speak without mic. What are the? These are all primary skills. Management consulting.
As far as I know, they need to handle an entire business and provide the business's data on how they should work and make their company profitable. For that reason, management consultants' skill have to be diverse and like more than anyone out in the game. So, what are the primary ones?
Is this not diverse? What I said, it's diverse.
Yes,
right?
sir. But the primary ones.
Primary ones is business thinking. धंधा कैसे चलता है वो सीखना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
Right? If you do not understand how business functions, it will be very hard. If you don't understand what is balance sheet, if you do not understand what is P&L statement, it will be very hard. What is asset? What is liability? What is... Always remember, this is again one piece of advice which I wanted to leave, and I often get very frustrated in the interview process, is that as we move from one trimester to another trimester or semester, we forget everything what has been taught. Right? And it becomes very difficult because in an interview, when you are asking somebody what are the two ratios which impact the P&L statement, they are talking about something else. The gross profit, net profit, क्यों नहीं बात कर रहे? I mean, that's the most crucial one, right? We will talk about some different tangent only. I have people from B schools who are not able to understand what are the 3 golden rules of accounting. अब मैं उसको hire करके क्या करूँगा? If these are like 3rd, 4th page of your 11th, if you're a commerce graduate, and same with MBA, right? You will study accounting as part of your first semester. So do not compromise on your fundamentals, number one, because if you compromise on your fundamentals, it is very hard to teach the rest. I see often people say, I did Power BI certification. What the hell do I do with your Power BI certification if you don't know the basics? Always remember, it is a step by step. पहले दिन ही कोई नहीं बोलेगा कि profitability कैसे वो होगी to, and when we work on such projects, there are multiple people also involved, right? You would be an associate, you will be guided by a project lead, and then the project lead will be guided by a manager. So there will be multiple hands who will contribute to it. But the foundation will be very, very critical, because at that time, if you don't know how to read balance sheet, your manager will just, sorry for my words, but really screw you up.
Thank
right?
you, sir.
And then how does the business functions? It's very, very critical.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind, sir. My name is Sham Sabris. My question is, sir, as you have mentioned that there are various functions and complexities in consulting. So how AI is evolving consulting roles in future?
I've already answered.
Like in terms of strategic design or problem solving, what else are you expecting from us?
You're saying this as in, are you saying that what else should you learn besides just complementing to his question? What else should you learn from a technology standpoint? Okay, I think some data analysis courses are always helpful, because as we navigate client environments and situations, there will be always voluminous data which you will deal with, right? And those voluminous data cannot be handled by Excel skills, right? For that, to make it more efficient, quicker, faster, because these are all time sensitive, some advancement on data analysis tools like learning SQL, Python. If you want to go a little bit on the visualization side to make the presentation look very, very compelling and nice for the end client, Power BI, Tableau, these are all good things which can just kind of complement your resume well, right? AI, of course, you don't have to learn per se. At the end of the day, I think the game is how do you command and what do you get. Giving the right command is also critical, but at the end of the day, just having that output is also not helpful. You will have to contextualize that in full client scenario, retain what is essential, what is not essential, so that ability to say, okay, this is right and this is not right is your skill. That's not AI skill, right? Now these days I was using a free version of Claude, and I saw that I uploaded I gave a prompt, it gave me the full PPT. Now when you work in corporates, there are standard templates, guidelines of brand, right? Like A&M is a brand, so it will have like blue color, this font size, how do we storyline it, right? Do you understand what is storyline? So basically there has to be narrative when I am presenting 5-6 slides, right? So those you have to do it. That
So I have to add human touch to that.
yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, in the interest of 2 more, okay? Nobody's asking from this side, I'll go with this 2. Yeah.
And my question to you is, how exactly does consulting firms attract clients and build competitive advantage?
I will not be the right person to answer this. Honestly speaking, I do not do client-facing roles, right? But I can give you a high level how it works, if that makes sense to you. Whenever we do client scenarios, client does not get converted on the day one, right? You need to first build that relationship, understand what is their problem in the firm. In consulting world, we call it diagnosis, right? Once the diagnosis is done, you come back, see, do you even have relevant skills, people to do that kind of work, right? Before you commit to the client. And once you say that, okay, you do not have, but you can hire people. This kind of talent is available in X, Y, Z organization. Giving that confidence back to the client, that's when the real momentum will begin, right? But to even enable that, there is a pre-sales team which does a full mapping of whether it is global client, Indian client, and see and map people, right? In specifically consulting environments, there will be always partners who leads industries, right? It is both horizontal as well as vertical. Horizontal is your capability. M&A is horizontal, but it can cut through all the industries. It can cut through healthcare and life sciences, financial services, and so on. So you will have partners who are leading P&Ls for each vertical, and along with them, they will have account reps who are essentially tracking which clients are currently mapped, where is there a potential, right? And the other thing also is revenue. We do only mid to large size. We do not do small because that's not our forte. I'll not say forte, I will say to do that, there are small consulting firms who will do that. Like if I talk about Bain is only large, multi-billion-dollar organizations on which they would like to focus their energy. We do mid-market also because now what is happening is a multi-billion-dollar are not ready to spend money, right? Then somebody has to do mid-market also, right? So we do a lot of mid-market to large base. So once you do that, account manager does all that mapping, and then we start tapping where do we need to go. And conversion does not happen on first day. It takes time. There was somebody, yes. Yeah, last.
Jain sir, my name is Ayush Tiwari, and I want to ask you one question. What are the things that supposed to be brought to the table for long run in the fast growing era, either be it's technical or non-technical in any organization or in any domain?
Be adaptable. Stay curious. Challenge the status quo. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
He was so simply convinced. Jokes apart, but that's the truth. That's the truth because disruptions will continue to happen until the time our Trump uncle does not stabilize his mind. So things will be like this, at least till the time his tenure is not getting over. Things will keep happening, right? There will be global uncertainty, there will be increase in tariffs, firms are not willing to do M&A because they're nervous whether they will get right valuation for their business or not. This will keep on happening, right? But what can you do? Yes. It will. If tariffs are increasing, clients will be nervous to spend that money, right? They don't know what will be the outcome, whether they will get the right value for their business or not, right? With so much uncertainty, if there is so much of uncertainty, okay, let's step back. Let's say the job market is dead. Will you be willing to invest on your MBA? Simple, right? Similarly, if the clients do not get the right value for their business, will they do that deal? Will they like to sell their business, or somebody will like to buy something which probably would not give them as much return as they would have thought about? Simple, right? Just contextualize. I'm sorry, we are already overshooting on time. Thank you for being so patient. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to clear any doubts, queries, which we probably could not address today. But it was wonderful interacting with you. I had never had the opportunity to have so disciplined and people who are highly engaged. At least I could see people were focused to whatever I say. I don't know from here, but at least from eyes it seemed. Great, thank you so much, and I wish you great 2 years of your career. Build relationships as much as you can. Make friends. I know you will make lifelong friends from this 2-year journey.